oh, 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 oh. Hi, ladies. Ooh, I'm a little darker than I thought I'd
Hey,
be. Hi, hi.
what's up,
How
girl?
are you? I am here. I'm a little darker than I thought I'd be. Hold on, let me move this light that's in on the other side and see if it makes a difference. If not, we will just have to
No
carry on.
problem.
Okay.
It's all good. It's all good
Oh,
in
that's
the
all.
bed.
I'll figure it out.
Oh,
Welcome everybody. We were watching the Raptors lose, and we decided that we were going to make sure that we just continued on with the show because they were up 19, and when we changed the game, they were down 4. But we digress. So, welcome to another episode, Not Your Typical Girl Talk. And we're just going to go ahead and introduce ourselves in alphabetical order. As you can see, Robbie 3 times is not with us this week, but we got this. We're going to hold it down. He had some family things to deal with, but we got this. We are the Not Your Typical Girl Talk crew. So, ladies, introduce yourselves.
yes. Welcome to Not Your Typical Girl Talk, where we try
Try really
to
hard.
make sense of the foolishness on these internets. Deep, dark internets, yes, and we are live on Instagram. We are live on YouTube, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time every Wednesday. So check us out, follow us, subscribe to our socials, and thank you to Radio Region, syndicated through iHeartRadio, for allowing us the platform to have the replays of our show every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So check us out on Internet Radio. Let's move on. Telly, how are you doing, girl?
I am doing good today in the lovely city of Toronto in the lovely province of Ontario. It was actually really nice. Because the weather was so nice, I'm nice. Hi, everyone. I'm Telly. It's so great to be here with my Not Your Typical Girl Talk crew. We're going to do our best to try and make sense, as you were saying, Cara, but the foolishness just keeps on getting more foolish. It gets really difficult to try, but we're going to try. We're gonna work it out. Sheba girl, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic. I would be better if the Raptors didn't do what they do during the second half. But anyways, we digress. I am Tashima. They call me Sheba. I'm the final female member of the crew, and this week. So, I'm going to start with a state that we have become familiar with on this show because it seems like there is a bunch of foolishness that happens in the state. I even turned my setup around so we could get the bigger TVs to hope we can see a lot more of this foolishness than we've been seeing before. But all I can say is, oh, Florida. Florida. So this says, and I'm going to read, Florida man allegedly, I love the word allegedly, right?
Allegedly.
They look, they did it.
Only in
right?
Florida.
It's obvious that it-
Only in Florida.
Florida man allegedly shoots couple in McDonald's drive-thru because their order was taking too long. Yes, you heard that right. Now let me tell you more about the story. A 28-year-old man was arrested on Sunday and charged with 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder in connection with the shooting outside a McDonald's restaurant in Lakeland. According to the Lakeland Police Department, officers responded to reports of a fight between 2 men outside the McDonald's. While officers were en route, 911 dispatchers received updates that shots had been fired. When officers arrived, they found a minivan in the roadway directly in front of the restaurant. Inside the vehicle, a 28-year-old female had been shot multiple times, and a 34-year-old male who was rendering aid. And a 34-year-old male was rendering aid. The female victim was transported to Lakeland Regional Health in stable condition with serious injuries, while the male declined medical treatment. The suspect, Calvin Jordan Sosa, fled the scene in a white-colored vehicle.
Of course.
Investigators identified Sosa's vehicle and tracked it to a residence in Highland City. Police made contact and Sosa eventually exited the home and was taken into custody. He is charged with 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder, shooting into an occupied vehicle, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and improper exhibit of a firearm.
All that for McDonald's. But come on, man. People, I know people are on edge. That's very clear. But give me a break. Come on. He doesn't even know what took them so long to get their order in the first place.
Maybe they were making fresh fries.
Maybe they were making fresh fries. Maybe something was wrong with the machine, but he's just hop out of his car after waiting for how long? Just continue waiting, or leave. Leave? Really, sir? Mr. Soso, whatever your name is, you're gonna do this?
Here is the thing. People do realize that they have the option of entering the restaurant, right?
You're gonna enter the restaurant.
Could have went in.
Like, that's an option.
We've all done it.
If patience is not your thing, you
You go
can also
inside.
enter the restaurant. Because generally when you go to a drive-through, you normally see how many cars have to drive through prior to you getting your meal. So if it's a number that you may not be comfortable with, you can walk in without driving.
Yeah, and if he was sitting there and waiting was taking too long, that means his car was sitting there idling, doing nothing. At this point, he could have driven around because most of these drive-thrus have enough space for you to bypass the car in front, and he could have walked in and said, "Hi, I've been in line now waiting. I'm just wondering if I could get my food or get a refund." Like, I don't understand why shooting people is first thought.
All this hostility.
And for chicken nuggets?
For the Golden Arches.
In Florida, what? In Florida, they probably still have the dollar menu at McDonald's. So I'm sure his meal was probably, like $5.
And then he fled. The man ran.
Yeah, the idea that he fled.
He ran and left the food.
You knew that you were doing wrong.
After the whole pipe.
And then he left your food anyway.
And still didn't get your McDonald's. So you're stupid, sir. You're stupid. We're just gonna call you
Florida.
Yeah, this story is actually this shows how bad it has gotten.
Yeah, that's really rough. I've seen people get cussed out, when they're in a line. I've seen people go and cuss off people, but I've never, for myself, I never thought of coming out of my car and physically harming someone.
Thank you.
Don't know what the person.
Thank you.
Just oh man.
It's not even a thought in either of our minds to think, hey,
Never.
This might be the way to go. I'm going to take this car that
This is just.
I have in my
Listen.
car.
No.
Because I want my McDonald's.
Not to get political, but this is just another story that proves not everyone should have the right to have a gun.
No, why is he trying to smize in the photo? He's trying to model like this. He's modeling Levi jeans, sir.
Mr. Sosa,
your modeling career is already over before it began.
We wish you nothing.
We wish you
and
diddly squat.
We're happy and hoping that the young lady did manage to get over her injuries, and we wish her the best. But you, sir, what we wish you, we cannot say on the air. Let's just say that. But don't drop the soap. Don't drop the soap. Okay. All right. So this lady was dropping a lot. She was dropping it, flipping it upside down. Let me introduce you to. Listen, I don't know what's going on with these female officers and dispatchers and whomever, but Lord have mercy. They are some freaky ladies apparently. So this says 911 dispatcher suspended after her husband finds sexual text messages between her and 7 police officers.
Good God.
So let's hear what we have to say. A Texas dispatcher has been placed on unpaid leave after her husband caught her sexting 7 police officers, including 3 she was having affairs with. Crystal Perez, an overnight dispatcher at the Bexar County Sheriff's Office in San Antonio, has been placed on unpaid leave after her husband, Giancarlo Perez, discovered hundreds of sexually explicit messages between her and 7 police officers. Sergeant Ronaldo Salinas, Deputy Juan Leal, and Deputy Jason Jarvis have also been suspended and may be facing termination after it was revealed that they had been sleeping with Perez. Their conduct, apparently according to the investigation, was found to be egregious enough to where we would issue those proposed terminations. After finding the text messages between his wife and the 7 officers, Giancarlo Perez immediately provided proof to the sheriff's office, launching an internal investigation. The jilted husband then shared some of the text threads with a local news station, which reported that most of the exchanges were too explicit to share. But here are a few for your listening pleasure.
We ready.
Ready for it, girl. I feel so hot and sexy when I'm with you, Sergeant Salinas wrote to Perez. I can feel it, all of it, and I love it, the dispatcher replied. We need another hotel day, the sergeant wrote, to which she replied, yes.
Yeah.
Show that Deputy Leal also texted Perez, and this is what he had to say. I can't wait for us to be naked and us caressing each other and then kissing each other all over.
Okay, officer.
Okay, if she was so busy texting, when was she dispatching?
And that's my concern. Like, jokes aside, let's put the joke aside for a second.
We'll try, but
This is a person that is supposed to be spending, probably 10 to 15 hours a day saving the lives of human beings.
Well, she is saving
But
lives.
she had time to sext 7 police officers. She had time to go to hotels and spend hours upon hours with these people. So you do wonder how she was able to balance that and having a husband. And I don't know how long these affairs went on for, but what also is interesting is, these cops all knew that they all knew. They were probably saying, yo, there's this one girl, 911 dispatch chick. Yo, she's a freak. Because police officers, as we know, the culture, exactly, they're brothers and sisters. They're tight. Yeah, they drink together.
They sleep together.
Yeah, they do everything together. So it started with one guy, and then he went and said, "Hey, let me tell you about this
certain dispatcher."
And it went on, and she was just out here
helping people.
But she was out here hoeing it out.
She was helping
when she should have been on those phone lines.
She was helping them.
Well, they were helping themselves to her.
She made herself available.
She sure
like
did.
an ambulance makes itself available to the sick. She was making herself available to these officer men. I mean, the thing that bugs me is that she's suspended, and it's like she's fired.
She working. When was she helping the good people of San Antonio get the police? Because first of all, I'm tired thinking about her love life. I'm exhausted. It is hard enough to please one gentleman. Right. Girl, you had a husband, 3 others that you were sleeping with, and 4 others that you were sexting that were in the line for you to sleep with. Vagisil?
And these are, police officers. I don't know, but she could have had some other guys maybe that aren't police officers that we'll never know about, right?
Maybe they're also dispatchers.
Yeah, she could have dispatcher boyfriends too.
Girl, wow. She is.
Well, she got her fill.
Listen, Vagisil needs to call her up for her to do a commercial.
Honestly.
Yes,
Because
girl.
whatever she's doing,
I mean,
the Vagisil is Vagisilling.
this
Y'all
is
get what I'm
why
saying.
a lot of women usually don't do the whole life because
It's a lot.
for women it's a lot.
It sounds like.
Does she have any kids?
Like most women, if they are out here cheating on their man, they have like one other guy.
No, this girl has 4.
That's
and
the
then
average,
4
right?
in training.
Right.
Oh, yes,
The
the
idea-
training.
Yeah,
She
like,
has like 4 in training,
Right.
and then the 4 that she's.
and she had time to keep up with all of these text messages.
That's exhausting.
Do you know how many
long
text
is going
messages
on?
I have in my phone that
Oh yeah,
That I
absolutely.
say
people are sitting there waiting for
Absolutely.
responses?
Yeah, and she's
That's
on the
her
ball.
husband. So she
She
has
can
7
multitask.
men, her husband, her friends, maybe her mother and her father, maybe a few uncles and aunts, some brothers, and like, girl. And when were you saying
Yo.
to people, girl, goodbye, we're done?
Her WhatsApp chats were lit.
Listen, she should have just been on OnlyFans. But simple. Like, girl.
Well, she can now since
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, if
Not for you.
most
she can
women,
now since she's
7 guys,
suspended.
you're sexting with them and doing whatever. She didn't make a dime.
Well, that's because at least prostitutes get paid.
Thank you.
They get
Right. If she
top
had an
dollar
if
too.
she had an OnlyFans
At
page,
least she's getting money out of
right,
it.
with 7 guys paying, like even like $20 a month,
Okay, well, she's getting
that would have been
something.
a cool money
She's getting
to
a
go
meal.
get her nails done.
But she's just giving it away for free. Okay, ma'am, we wish you nothing.
At all.
Jeez.
We wish you nothing.
Wow.
They all need to go get tested. That's all I
San
can say.
Antonio, y'all.
Good old
We're
Texas.
done.
Y'all go get tested.
We're done. And just so we know, the Raptors lost 109-105.
You know what?
Of course
I'm
they
over
did.
them again.
Of
I'm over the Raptors yet again. They love to get people's hopes up, and then they just drop you like it's a mashup ball in the street.
Yeah.
Raptors, shame on you.
I'm done. So this next story,
I can't believe it. Jesus.
I'm just gonna put.
Oh.
I'm just gonna.
Girl.
And I know you guys can't see this, and it's almost a good thing that you don't, because I'm gonna read it. And then I'm going to go to the side. I'm going to tell you there's a lady here wearing a shirt, and I'm going to tell you what the shirt says. So Kansas enforces law that genitals of children must be inspected in order to play sports. So transgender kids have to compete with their biological gender. And there's a lady here, she's wearing this shirt, and it says support trans youth. Now, I have a question. I do not pretend to be the smartest person ever. But as a mother, I can tell you, when my daughter was born, she had this nice little piece of paper, and it was called a birth certificate. On the birth certificate, it named the gender of the child, and it said female, because I had a girl. So I'm just imagining a meeting, a long table, and there were several people around this meeting, and no one in that meeting thought, if we're trying to ensure that children compete in sports by the gender, their biological gender, let's just ask the parents to bring in a birth certificate. They bypassed that and went to let us see their little cuties.
Let's sexually assault all the children before we decide if they should play the games or not.
Yes. Not that I'm for this in any way, shape, or form, and I don't know what parent would be for this. I don't know why anyone. I don't know who was sitting at this table and said, "Yeah, let's just all agree Like, you mean that not even one person
Dare I
stood
say
and said, "This is disgusting"?
it's here's
What?
exactly disgusting is the first thing.
Leave the children
Like,
alone.
why are we not protecting kids anymore?
Thank you.
God.
We're just out here ushering them. Yeah, just have a bunch of adults feel them up and
Touch
see
them
if they're
up.
male or female.
And
we're
you
good.
trust these people that are touching your kid? You trust them? Like, oh yeah, they're like Santa Claus. It's fine. Touch up my kid. Really?
That's the funny part. Like, how exactly was this test going to be conducted? How?
Are they literally going to take their hands and put it in places where they should not?
Listen, we first of all, I know that our parents spent years as little kids. They teach you, right? Your parents taught you. No one should touch you here, there, over here, and over there. You should not lift up your skirt or pull down your pants in front of anyone that you like. So the idea now that we're taking all of that back, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of good advice, and now we're pushing our children saying, yep,
please rape my child.
Please lift up your skirt, pull down your
Please
pants,
molest them.
so people can look at your genitalia.
That's disgusting. No. We can add Kansas to the stupid list.
No.
It was Florida, Texas, and now Kansas.
There are so many ways to prove, again, like you said, Sheba, there's so many ways to prove someone's biological gender. We don't need to be out here staring at these things.
Just leave the children alone. Leave them alone. The children.
They're children. Anybody?
What, do they think that the 5-year-old is on the dark web ordering a fake birth certificate like an adult? Like, is that what they think? A 5-year-old can do that? Maybe there is, but I highly doubt it in this scenario. Highly doubt it.
Leave
the kids alone.
I actually just closed my eyes for a second and really imagined that meeting of idiots.
Yeah.
No one thought this is a terrible. Kansas enforces law. Do you understand? Enforces law, which means that it was a bill and it passed through to become a law. There are steps. There are steps that happen before something becomes a law.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we're ready to support every other youth but actual children.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, okay, you know what? Can we start wearing shirts that says, let's support the children?
That's all.
I mean,
that's all.
Children.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And I'm not even looking at the idea of trans youth versus
They're children.
biological kids.
That's
I'm
it.
saying
They're
they're children.
Come on.
Why are we out here? Like, I would not go and do this. I like the doctor is the only person that is allowed to inspect me, and there has to be a reason.
And there's a nurse in there with
and there's a
person
reason
in there
to inspect me. Why are we giving our children off to strangers for them to go look at their?
They really care about the sports and the gender thing. Like, they care a lot.
They care a bit too much.
Thank you. So the sports in the schools supersedes children's rights.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what they agreed to. And it's disgusting. And any parent that's okay with this,
everybody but the children have rights.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I have
Oh,
I have nothing. And there's actually so much to talk about in the next section, half. Whatever.
Girl, we're trying. We're trying to make sense of it.
This is crazy. We're done. Kansas, do better. I almost wish Robbie 3 times was here because this, I don't.
You would have a
lot
to say.
Goodbye. We're done. Sayonara. I'm taking this off my screen. I feel creepy. So while I'm doing that, Carcia, please talk to the people of them.
Bring us back to reality,
let's
girl.
Reset this room. Welcome to Not Your Typical Girl Talk, where we try to make sense of the foolishness on these internets. We are live on IG. We are live on YouTube. And you can catch the replays Saturdays on internet radio through Radio Regent. Thank you to Radio Regent, syndicated through iHeartRadio, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturdays. And yeah, we are here every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So check us out here. Let's get back to it. Let's laugh a bit because
that last one was heavy.
That last one was heavy.
Too heavy.
You're definitely going to laugh because let me tell you, I've heard about some neighbor rivalry, but nothing like what I read about this one. Let's just say that apparently in China they don't play. They do not play what goes on over there. So let me just put this one up here. And I'm going to actually try to get through this without a lot of laughter. Yes, that behind me that you see, ladies, is a bunch of chicken.
Right.
So this story is going to involve a bunch of chicken. So I'm going to read what this lovely thing says here. Intense neighbor rivalry sends Chinese man to prison for 6 months after he scared his neighbors 1,100 chicken to death. So, yes, you heard that. Yes, tell you, yep, I read that right. So this article says, sheesh, talk about a neighbor feud gone too far. A Chinese man only identified by his surname of Gu has been sentenced to 6 months in jail after he was accused of killing 1,100 of his neighbor's chickens between 2 revenge scheme incidents. The latest one included him scaring the birds to death with a flashlight. On Tuesday, April 4th, Yu was sentenced to prison for creeping into the neighbor's yard in the Yunnan province and killing thousands of his chickens. Per Gu trespassed twice, and the second time he used a flashlight to terrify the clucking chickens. The incident sent them into a panic and resulted in them flocking and crowding into a corner of their coop where they trampled over one another trying to escape. The chaotic event eventually caused the birds to kill one another. As mentioned, local authorities said this wasn't the first time Yu had trespassed into his neighbor's property. Apparently, the first time Yu crossed property line, 500 chickens died after being trampled to death. Police eventually caught Yu and ordered him to pay his neighbor, only identified as Hong, 3,000 yuan, also, aka $436. However, this only further enraged Yu, so he returned to Hong's yard a second time and killed hundreds more chickens with the flashlight incident. Authorities say a total of 1,100 chickens were killed between the 2 massacres. It is also reported that the 2 incidents were part of a bigger revenge scheme stemming from an ongoing feud between the 2 neighbors. It is reported that things all began in April 2022 when Yu chopped down some of Hong's trees without his permission. A court in Hengyang eventually ruled that Yu intentionally caused property loss to Hong, leaving him with a loss of 13,840 yuan. I'm going to go with that. Also known as $2,015. Since all of these wild events, Yu has been sentenced to 6 months in prison, and once he's released, he will then have to serve a full year on probation. That's very dramatic.
Whoa. So wait.
I tried to do that with a straight face.
I'm sorry. That's a lot. These chickens get caught in the middle of a fight that they didn't even have to be signed up for. What happened to the chickens? Hope they ate them.
Was there video surveillance of this guy's flashlight?
Did he wait for the cops to come and just? It was me. The flashlight.
Like, I'm just trying to. I mean, if there's physical evidence that it's true, then
I guess so. If he was arrested, I don't know. This is weird.
it's very weird. Shiva.
Okay,
This is weird as hell.
here's my thing. I am picturing 1,100 chickens. That's a lot of chickens.
It's a lot of chicken.
In one
thinking
peak, yeah.
1,100 chickens. They need acreage to move around.
Right.
They were in a coop. So my issue is, how come Hong isn't in trouble for basically probably putting and jamming all the chickens together? Because if they were running and trampled on each other, it
You
means
know
that
what?
they didn't have room to move around. So really, is it who or you? I don't know how to pronounce his name, or Hong, who was the issue? Because 1,100 chickens in a coop. How big is sir? They need at least an acre.
Yeah,
I
you know
guess
what, though?
it's not illegal over there.
Yeah, in China, they do
guess.
have a lot of different sort of rules when it comes to, you know, we all heard about, you know, unfortunately with, you know, COVID, learning about the markets and how some of them, they don't have a lot of rules when it comes to how they keep animals, right? And of course, unfortunately, this caused a lot of like issues like socially around the world, but maybe I just feel that this is a normal thing for people to have over 1,000 chickens in one coop. It
I
looks
guess
like it's
so.
a normal thing, because
I'm sorry.
And then he had 300 chickens before.
500.
500 that got. He did the same thing.
yeah, apparently he did the same thing.
And he went back and did it again.
Yes, because he went in and scared them with the flashlight, and it had
But what
nothing to do with the fact that they were cooped up,
Right.
unintended,
Crowded on each other.
crowded on each other.
But
Probably one little door like this for
That's how
them
they all
to,
died.
yeah.
Well, I want to know what was the bigger scheme? Like, I wish they would give out more information because now I'm invested. You've got murder, you've got suspense. Like, this is a whole CSI business
And
now. I want
maliciousness.
to know.
You gotta be hella malicious to be like,
You
I'm gonna
really-
go kill more chickens again.
You really
Like,
love those trees to the point
But
where
here's the thing. I don't think you was just sitting around waiting for them chickens to die. My man went into there, did the flashlight, and went about his business. He didn't stick around for all 500 the first time and then 600 second time. He probably didn't even know what happened. He was creeping around. He wanted to scare the little chickens and call it a day, right? So he wasn't sticking around to see that they were fighting each other and screaming around. And also, clearly they were again cooped up because they didn't even have a chance to fly.
right. They only had a little space to
I don't think that's
escape.
illegal in China. I think that's legal to have them in small.
Yeah, I
places.
think it is.
So that's why the man got
So
in
that
trouble.
sounds like there's
Which is
more
a shame. He should have gotten arrested along with his crazy
Thank
neighbor.
you.
But dude got away with it. They're allowed,
Yeah,
I
and
guess,
the
in
idea
China.
that, I mean, they believe, obviously the authorities believe the story that you went in maliciously with a flashlight to kill these chickens.
I've never.
I
I
don't think that's
I don't
it
think
at
that's
all.
what happened.
I think what he was actually trying to do was he was trying to maybe vandalize the place, and he had a flashlight because he went in the middle of the night, and it
Not
so
really.
happened to freak out the chickens. I don't think he went there saying, I'm going to kill chickens.
No. That doesn't make
That's
any
just
sense.
There are
different.
easier ways to kill chickens.
Thank you.
Easier ways to
And
tick off your neighbor.
Right.
Like, he could just go and like smash the neighbor's car window or something.
Right. Scratch his car door out. Like,
Listen,
He took this
I mean,
really far.
China to me has a lot going
He took
on.
this really far. Like wow. We should have
China's
photos.
got a lot. Good
Or is it
luck.
like photos of the
Good
incident,
luck.
like photos of the man in handcuffs, and like chalk drawings of the chickens on the floor? Drawings.
girl, stop.
You know, back in the day, the chalk,
PETA's gonna come after us. here.
right? Peter's like, oh, they're there. They come
We
to
need
us.
to stop this right now.
I'm dead. That chalk outline.
Little chalk outline,
No, we need
every feather,
I'm
every
done. I'm
beak.
done.
The beak is perfect. Little gobble
That's
gobble.
it. We're over. You know what? We're done. We're just gonna move on because the next two stories, you won't be able to read this, but again, I'm going to do my best to not laugh
Girl.
at what happened. people. Just people. I'm nothing more than people. I read this to my daughter earlier, and she just looked at me as if I was reading something in Russian because she was like, does not compute.
No
So,
sense.
This again is courtesy of our friends over at Six Brown Chicks, and somebody wrote in for us to help them. So I want to know what advice you ladies have. So she says, my boyfriend's wife was trying to win her man back from me, so I got a tummy tuck. The long scar across my belly became a puffy keloid. I wore a Santa belt to cover it in bed, but it bled. He went soft and left. Won't return calls. What to do? I fixed my body for him.
Well, I guess the wife won.
Okay, so let's break this down. Because when we first read this, we all stopped it. We didn't even get through it. And we were like, flag number one. Sis, you're admitting that your boyfriend has a wife.
And she's mad that she's afraid of losing her boyfriend to the man's wife.
Right, and she said that she's trying to win her man. So you know well and well that this man is not yours.
Correct.
And that he fully belongs to this other woman.
Correct.
You're admitting that.
Correct.
But she still went ahead.
You still went ahead and spent big money because tummy tucks are expensive. There is a recovery time. She didn't even wait for the recovery time, really.
That's why she left.
If she did, it wouldn't have keloided over and be still fragile enough to bust open.
Ew. She wore a Santa Claus belt.
Sis. I'm done with these women. Like, I'm done. I am done with these uneducated, thirsty women who are not using common sense. I'm done.
But she tried. She wore a Santa Claus belt.
Where are you going? You really think a tummy tuck is gonna? This man has been married to a woman for years, right? Years. You thought a simple tummy tuck is going to get him to divorce the woman that's cooking his meals,
Sleeping with him at night.
cleaning the house,
Taking care of his kids, possibly.
on the regular. And you're going to get a
For
tummy
your
tuck, and
keloid
that's going
stomach?
to solve everything.
I'd like to get to the last sentence. She said, I fixed my body for him. Girl.
So it was broken?
But now it's broken because it's bleeding. You have a keloid that's bleeding to the point where you have to wear a Santa Claus belt in bed? In bed. What is
So she's like Frankenstein. Holding this belt is technically holding her together. Okay, girl.
Ladies, I understand that there are not enough men for women in this world. But is this would you want this to be part of your legacy? Because where are her friends? Because if I was sitting with
She's not listening to them.
Like, listen, ladies, I met this man. I think he's amazing, but he got a wife. But we ain't gonna worry about that. See, what I'm gonna do is, I know that I could go to the gym and eat well and do that for like 3 to 4 months to get my body in shape. But instead, I'm gonna spend big money. I'm gonna get a tummy tuck because that's how I'm gonna win him over. I don't even think I would get to that part of the story. The moment I said my boyfriend has a wife,
you can stop right there. Stop right there. Like, no, Shiva, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. This woman has no friends. And if she does have friends, she's clearly not listening to anybody. She's already made up her mind that this married man is her man. Or used to be.
She didn't even make that
because he left her in
she
the
was
bed.
confident in that relationship. She didn't have to go get it.
Because she was losing him.
To his wife.
To his wife.
To the woman that already has it. Cool.
Yeah. Because she wanted him.
I think it's hilarious. I'm sorry.
It is
hilarious.
You know, this is what you don't do. For everyone listening, ladies, this is what you do not do. Do not go out and put foreign items in or cut up your body so that a man will leave his wife for you.
He's not gonna leave his wife for you. Come on now.
If he didn't leave the wife before, why would she? And first, let me just also say, like you said earlier, tummy tucks come with a healing. There is a healing, and it's over several months.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's just a couple of weeks. It's several months. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you could have taken those several months and gone to the gym and eat well and hired a personal trainer. Because a tummy tuck is $5 to $10 grand, depending on who's doing it. I'm going to throw those numbers out there. A personal trainer ain't even going to cost you that much.
No. And what's great about a personal trainer is they teach you the lifestyle that you need to have a beautiful body where you will be healthy.
First and foremost.
You'll be healthy, you will have your body right. And even if he decides, I'm saying adios, you'll be like, I got a nice body out of it. I'm feeling good. I'm about 20. I feel 10 years younger. Like there would be a positive to this. There's no positive to this. You're left with a broken, busted
Belly.
For the next man who's going to come her way and also have a
help us, Lord.
Because I don't. Here's the thing: when women say a man should love me as I am, that's fine. That sounds great when you're the woman who's given him children, right? If your body isn't the way it is because of giving birth to his children, absolutely, yes. Because you gave, but you come in already with a mashup body. He's not obligated to love you at all.
And then it's like, well, why did you do that to yourself? He'll look at photos of you before you got the work done. He'll be like, well, why did you do it? Oh, because, I was with this guy and I needed him to start paying attention to me instead of his wife.
That's really going to attract men.
So that's really going to. This is real life, though. Like, we just
which is scary.
On the radio.
Yeah, this isn't.
Life. We do not make this stuff up. As you can see, I put stuff behind this because this is things that we find on Beyonce. People are putting this stuff out here.
Yeah, no,
and they're being legit. They really want advice on what to do. It's like, what? What do you mean?
Okay, we're done. Good. I don't wish her nothing.
We wish you nothing, ma'am.
You're
not even for your little keloid. Come on now.
Well, apparently it's a big ass keloid.
Well, we wish you more. Get some shea butter. I don't know.
Something.
Go find a skin doctor.
Now, this gentleman in the last segment, there have been some guests on Kendra G and Kevin Samuel's show over the last few years. Kendra G has gotten cussed out. Kevin Samuels has had some crazy ladies, but this guy right here, I'm going to let you enjoy the next 3 minutes of him explaining his life and the type of woman he's looking for. And I would like to know, after this is done, ladies, if you would be reaching out to him to, enter a relationship. So, presenting the high value man on Kendra G.
Hopefully, word.
You want a Hispanic woman? Okay, let's get.
Yeah, very light. That was the one that hold on to you.
Oh, Hispanic women are the ones that hold on to you.
Yes. Plus, I'm a high value man. I'm not afraid of anything.
You're a high value man?
Yes, I am. I lift women up.
What are the qualities of a high value man?
A high value man, which is, I get it out on my own. I don't have to steal nothing from no one. I do everything on my own. I create my own path.
You make 6 figures?
Yeah.
Okay.
Over. I don't take no days off.
You make over 6 figures, or you just mean you make high 6 figures?
It's higher than 6 figures. Like, I say, like 100,000, 100 and some thousand. I be telling people, y'all are hating for free. Make sure you get a check for it. If you hate, make sure you get a check for it. That's all I'm saying. I Well, before I got here, I was in heaven. I was, everything is like a lie. Hotels, flowers, and everything.
So when was this? Was this last week?
No, this was before I was conceived into this world.
Oh, so before you were conceived. This is 36 years ago. And you remember clearly. You remember clearly.
Clearly, I got a long-term memory.
You got a long-term memory. Do you remember when you was inside your mother's body?
Yeah. My mom didn't even know I was pregnant. I mean, she was pregnant with me.
What did she find out?
She found out when she was in the club. This all. My brother gave me my name. Lamont Stafford.
Come on. Do you do drugs?
No, I don't. I do not do drugs at all. I don't even smoke or drink.
You just don't?
Yeah. I don't smoke or drink. I'm talking to you with my consciousness. Everybody else, they lost. I'm not lost.
Oh, Jesus. Wow. Yo, no, drugs are bad.
Here's the problem.
Drugs are bad.
Yeah, there's
Oh my God.
So first of all, this young man, you know what's scary?
All that?
Well, he shows up as a very normal looking person. You know, he started talking, and you're like, okay. Whoa.
So are you ladies saying that you did not believe he spoke to God and looked at him and
looked God in the face in the sky? No.
yeah.
You know what, girl? I'm not even.
He wasn't doing that? He
Girl.
wasn't doing the flowers
No.
in heaven?
The short answer is
I don't even
no.
believe he makes six figures because it took him too long
Short
to
answer
figure
is
that
no.
whole thing out.
Do I believe he's on some serious crack?
Yes.
Here is the thing. Do people think about how they're going to represent themselves? Listen, this is not Petra just been doing the show for like 3 years this month. There are hundreds of hours of video clips of people coming on the show. She does long shows. She does like 3 shows. She does shows on Facebook, Instagram, and now YouTube. She then takes clips of the show and she puts them all over YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So you get to see other people. We've had the craziest situations. Women who came on and said that they had sex an hour ago and the men had gone out to buy them some food. There was one guy who was going to use his powers to teach men how to treat women because he was looking for a billionaire.
That guy was fantastic.
Okay. We have had women who literally like had their babies in their lap while looking for a next man. We've had a lot. So you have enough to go on to go, you know what, if I get on this show, I really want to represent myself well. And he thought that going on and telling about his adventures with the Holy Spirit before, let's just be clear, he saw God before he was on this earth.
He was
In
born.
his mother's belly.
Yep, in the club.
And she found out in the club.
In the club.
When was song was playing in the club?
I do hope that he was just trolling. Like, I really do. I hope that he was just trying to
Get a row?
Yeah, I really do. I hope that this man is
Oh,
not
girl, that was crazy.
out here telling the story of him and God floating in the sky, looking down on the earth, him making $100,000, doing what? Probably telling that story. Who knows?
Well, Spanish women, you've been warned.
Spanish women have been warned.
Run for your life.
Please do not. This is not
Do
the man
not
for you.
engage.
Do not.
Run.
Do not approach.
All my Latinas, do not approach this
No.
man.
No.
He's on crack.
Yes.
Do not listen to a word he says.
I don't want to be in any dating pool where he belongs. Because, ladies, let's just be clear. There isn't piss in the dating pool, as you ladies like to say. There's piss in the dating pool that you are in, but I can tell you in the dating pool that I have experienced, it is
not
clear,
that.
amazing water. The water is very clear. It's crystal clear. My dating pool is fantastic because I am not in a dating pool with men like this. He's a nut job.
He
The man's
is.
on crack.
He's a moron.
He's
And
on crack.
I do want to remind women that, you know what, it's okay to tell a man that, you know what, you're a moron.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay.
Let them know. You're helping them.
It's okay.
You're helping them to understand.
It's okay. We have a lot of weirdos on these streets that are acting erratically like this man here. This
Yeah,
individual.
do not engage.
And-
do not engage.
Right. And
Do not engage.
some women,
Let them stay
out of
there.
desperation,
Mm.
are actually like, well, maybe I will. Like, no, sis.
Do not.
Here's the thing. There are women who are going to reach out to him believing that he does make six figures. And that's the sad part, right? Nowadays, we recognize that men are no longer judged by the character, their character at all. It's about six figures. So there are going to be scammers who are more respected than political leaders. There are scammers who are more respected than activists who are fighting for our rights and freedom as Black people. So yes, his inbox was probably in DMs was probably full because all some women heard is he makes six figures and he's a high value man. That man does not make six figures because when Kendra tried to clarify, he's like, I make more than six figures. Well, you know what the exact number for six figures is? $100,000. That's where six figures start. So if you made high six figures means, you know, 500,000. That's higher on the scale between 100,000 and $1 million, which is now seven figures. So, ladies, listen, Linda,
With your
to what
ears.
men truly said, and not what you want to hear, because this man is nutty. And he probably
He's a
has
crack
a baby.
baby.
Let's just say I would not go home with him on the first date.
Girl, date. What date?
What date? I wouldn't
What
even.
date?
What? This man? I wouldn't even.
What
like,
date? Hold on. We're gonna backtrack. Listen. No, girl. No, there's no date to begin with. Come on
I
now.
told you there's some woman who's gonna want to date him because he said he made
There will be.
There will be an idioto woman that will date this
The
fool.
one
It's
thing
true.
that we have learned from
It's
doing
true.
this show for so long is we have realized that people they have selective hearing, right? Like
Yeah.
I said, they will only hear what they hear and they ignore all the other stuff. They ignore the fact that this man is delusional and that he obviously has a mental problem.
He's on crack.
Of some sort, or he is on drugs, or some like
The man's on
hardcore bipolar
hard crack.
medication, which is affecting his sense of reality. And
The man
You
said that
hear
he's
that
floating with
story.
Jesus.
right, and you
And
hear
he's
that
looking
story,
down.
and you still want to hit him up in his DM? No.
Look at his pickup line. You
She's
know.
had some. Kendra's
I met
had
Jesus.
doctors and lawyers. When I watched him, I'm like, I was like, a girl will be lucky to get this guy. That guy is.
He's smart.
Smart,
He's got money.
he's well-versed,
He can speak properly.
He's well spoken.
He has a vision.
He's of a good age. You know, he's like, in his 40s, so he's kind of settled down. He's, girls, this is not the man to.
This
trust.
man looks like he's a pizza driver, like a pizza car driver. He looks like he's pulled over with a pizza order. And he said, let me just get on here real quick and say, yeah, I make six figures. Listen, Kendra, you know what? I was with God feeling above the sky before I was born. Because that's how close to Jesus he is. And he drives a pizza car. He drives as a delivery man because that humbles him. He's humbling himself. Driving a pizza car.
I'm done. I'm actually done.
Goes on live with Kendra G and pretends that he's a six-figure man.
Yeah, and it took him too long to decide in how many $100,000 And then he said $100,000.
$100,000.
I'm like, sir, it would have made more sense if you were like, oh, I make 175.
Then
Then it would be like, okay, that's his salary. That is how much you're out here saying you make $100,000. And no offense, but for women that work in certain industries, there are many six-figure women.
A lot of six-figure women.
Like a lot.
7-figure women.
A lot. So you need more than a story about going around with God and making $100,000 to be out here. But like you said, there are some women that are desperate.
They'll fall for it.
them.
It's true.
God bless them. God bless the world. We're done.
Girl, that was rough.
I got nothing.
This was really rough to make sense of all of that.
Nothing. I have nothing. I'm done. So telling, you know what? I'm done. So you're gonna just
Yeah.
Yeah, girl. No, I feel you. So y'all, thank you for watching and for listening. Thank you on YouTube. Thank you on Instagram. Huge thank you to Radio Regent for giving us this platform to share ourselves, trying to make sense of the foolishness on the internet. We cannot make sense of what we just heard. This is gonna bug us for a while. I feel it. We'll be revisiting this. I hope it comes back on Kendra's show. I really want to come back together someone life. But anywho, huge thank you to Radio Regent. Listen to this episode and all past episodes on Radio Regent. It's syndicated through iHeartRadio, award-winning content, Nobel Peace Prize. We are out here trying to make sense. And every day the foolishness gets more foolish, but thank God that we're all smart and we all connect the dots. And we're going to keep on trying to connect those dots. Also, join us here every Wednesday, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time to watch us live. And come on in and join us. We'd love to hear what you think of all these crazy, interesting things. Maybe you too can help us try to make sense, because this last one really stumped us. We don't know. But anyway, y'all, look. We got Karsia, I'm Telly. We got Sheba, Queen Sheba. And in his absence, we got Robbie still 1, 2, 3 times. And until next time, you will find us on a jet going somewhere nice and hot. Till next time, everybody. Take care. Hey. Oh, okay. Oh.